You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Holy tomato.
Brain shot! Belly down, soldier, the geeks aren't through with you yet! Bam! 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 Hey!
I know it. It all sounds like some bad movie.
Energy beam containing garbage from my substation may be headed for your solar system and could possibly result in the total annihilation of your species. I'm so terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
Holy tomatoes.
Hey, you beat me to it. Damn you.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Whoops.
That you?
Yeah, that's the movie. Holy shit.
No,
yeah,
holy tomato.
Holy tomatoes. Oh, that bikini, holy tomatoes. Yeah, it's been that kind of a fucking day. Seriously.
Welcome to Moviesucktastic. If you haven't guessed by
Episode
now.
121, where we're going to
That's
review Terrorvision, 1980s horror cult classic.
Well, 1980s horror. I don't know if I'd call it a cult classic.
Really? You don't think so?
No.
No?
No. I don't think there's people... No, just no.
Hey, it made it to Blu-ray. That's more than you can say for a lot of other films.
Not lately. It seems like everything's making... When this makes it to Blu-ray, like everything's making it to Blu-ray. It's not special anymore. They're just... Now they're finally just cranking out anything they've got laying around.
Right.
I mean, who wanted this in Blu-ray?
I don't mind owning it in Blu-ray.
No, there's a difference between wanting it in Blu-ray and not minding owning it in Blu-ray.
I guess so.
I'm still surprised Street Trash made it to Bluray, so this isn't a surprise.
And much like Street Trash, this looks better than I've ever remembered it being.
Better than it deserves to be.
I would think that's a true assessment if I ever did hear one. Yeah, this definitely looks better than it probably should.
Well,
the whole opening on what's the planet? Pluton? The blues are really blue, the reds are really red. I mean, it's just very vibrant. Even the opening titles are just really, really, colorful, and it just looks like they did a good job with the transition from, whatever, I don't know, 70 millimeter, 35 millimeter to Blu-ray. Anyway,
yeah, I'm surprised this wasn't shot on video.
I'm surprised it's widescreen.
Well, I mean, speaking of video, and again, they made bad movies before this. They made them after it, and they made the low-budget films since then. But for some reason, I really feel that this is the kind of film that was specifically made, even though it came out in the theaters, technically, and it was specifically made for the video market. This is when they finally started saying, look, put it out on film. We're not going to make our money back in the theaters, but we'll make our money back on distribution rights for video.
Right. Sure. I mean, this was like a Cinemax special. This is like a late-night Cinemax special, this film. Yeah,
so again, and even though I say video, obviously they get the rights for that as well. Sure. But I think like the video actually opened up the market for them for creating films where they knew they're not going to do well in the theater, but they know they'll sell. Every video store in the world will have to buy one, and that'll net them profit.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. So,
which is really a dying animal, because now they just go directly to streaming or directly to instant video. So you don't really have. We see more and more multi-blockbuster movies and not really many low-budget films that come out except for your art house shit, because it's just so much cheaper, just not even to bother distributing it theater-wise because the video market's gone, but your market's instant streaming. All they need is a Netflix account. But yeah, I just get that feeling from this film. It's really was just made. It's even almost like we've got money to kill. Let's just make a movie.
It felt that
we
way.
Got distribution rights. Yeah, there's nothing really. It's not the kind of film where you think somebody sat around and said, "Oh, I got a great idea."
Well, the whole film.
Those words, "I've got a great idea," were in no way linked to this movie.
Yeah, right. The whole film is in one. It's all in the house. There's a couple of outside shots, but that's just for the transition of who's arriving, and then going in. Everything is at the house. Set. It's all right. It's all on a studio lot. You can tell, like the scene where they're working on the satellite dish. You could tell that's just painted walls in the back. It's all just lit up. But I kind of like that about the film. The fact that it's all in one place. What
makes you like the film, which makes it not a horrible film, is that the film doesn't apologize for it. The film's like, yeah, here's our backdrop, here's our fake porch,
right?
Here's our shitty planet set. Just watch the movie. It makes no bones about it.
Yeah.
And for a film that really has a low budget, and again, backdrops, one location, one set, there does seem to be a decent amount of attention paid to the set and costume design.
Yes.
They really didn't just throw some paintings on the wall and that's it. Somebody decorated this house to live in.
Yeah, I mean, even when they do the pool scene, I mean, I don't know if they actually built an in-ground pool for the film, or they were able to just film that somewhere where someone had an in-ground pool and they just set up that area for that. I don't know. But, I mean, if they built an in-ground pool just for a couple of scenes in the film, I gotta commend them for that. That's pretty cool.
Well, it does, doesn't take that much, I guess. They probably did, considering they had the monster in the middle of it too and all that, so you had the animatronics down there to an extent. But, yeah, they really... Somebody took some effort, at least from an artistic standpoint, to say, okay, now let's take Grandpa and let's just glue war airplanes all over his fucking outfit, and let's make I think the only creative part of this film that's really gets any kudos is the set design and the costume design. Someone really actually said, "Let me do this," and they didn't just throw shit out there. It wasn't just, "Oh, I've got this in the van."
Right.
It really doesn't have that feel, especially when you get to the mild sadomasochistic erotic art on the walls.
Yeah,
and it's like where the TV is. There's a fucking trumpet on the mantelpiece.
Yes.
Okay, why is there a trumpet there? It's somebody decorating, so let's put the trumpet right there, and that's the kind of thing you'd expect from. Honestly, a lot of the stuff, the kind of stuff you'd expect from these people that upper class. It's like, I got money, let me hire a decorator. Decorator comes in as, you need a trumpet here, and we need to put the naughty art here, and 3 plates against the wall. It really has that feel of people with too much money paying somebody, the fake outdoor thing where it's all landscaped. That part almost seems realistic. It really does. A lot of open space, just a couch and that, but as bad as the film is, I never have a problem thinking that, okay, people live here. I believe people live in this house. I really do.
Sure, on Putterman Way. How did he get the street named after him?
you see that all the time. Yeah, if you have a stretch of land and you have people name their own driveways. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, you see it a lot. I'm out in the Pennsylvania area now, so I see more of it. But even back when I used to live in New York State, you do see that a lot. When you have a large enough piece of land, that road, that driveway you do to your house, that's your road. People just name the roads, even though it's not really a road. It doesn't go anywhere, so it's not really a road, but they still name them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the only failing of the film for me, as far as the set design goes, is we never see the daughter's room.
No, and you never know if that was something that was cut or probably not.
Think it probably would have taken that daughter with everything's going on with her. Would have taken. I think they spent all their time with Grandpa and Sherman, And then like they can't even no more budget for the daughter's room. It's either the daughter's room or a monster.
Right, and the daughter played by Diane Franklin, who
yes,
if whoever doesn't know who she is, I mean, because I'm watching this movie for, I don't know, the umpteenth time, and I haven't seen it in years, and I'm like, she looks so familiar, and then it hit me. She's the girl from Better Off Dead, the French girl.
Yeah.
And Last American Virgin, and
she was one of the princesses in Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, she was obviously in this, Terrorvision, so it's like, that's who she is.
Puts his testicles all over me.
Oui.
And then
bread.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about cast now, Mary Warrenoff. I've never met. I am a huge Mary Warrenoff fan. Everything from Eating Raoul, Beyond, and Before, even her little guest appearances and weird stuff. I'm a huge fan of hers. So seeing her in this is a thrill. Even though she bites it about halfway through. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, she doesn't last very long. She has like little. One scene after she bites it.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk about like that pacing of the film a bit later because that plays into that. But the young kid, which I honestly had to look up to make sure it wasn't Ricky Schroeder.
Actually, you know who I thought it was? I thought it was Emil Hirsch. That's the kid he was in Alpha Dog, and he was in The Girl Next Door. I was like, is this him? Because this kid, he's like in his mid-30s, early 40s, and I'm like, Emil Hirsch, he's not that... I could see him being in his early 30s, and I'm like, but he looks just like him. But it's not him, obviously.
Right.
Because I read some background information on him because I thought he might have been Emil Hirsch. I think that's his name, Emil Hirsch. Well, anyway, he's... not recently, but in the last few years, he's come out. And he said that when he was younger, he did a scene with Alec Baldwin where he gave him CPR. And he realized then that first he said he was in love with Alec Baldwin after that. And he realized at that moment that he was gay.
Any man who gives CPR to Alec Baldwin finds out they're gay. That's like one of the laws of...
Oh, is that how that works?
True. That's true. No, that's true.
It's just true.
Mm-hmm. Any man gives CPR. Oh. That's why he has a special CPR staff on hand, so he doesn't accidentally cause gayness.
John Grise is also in the film.
John Grise, yeah, a very very recognizable face even that far back, and of course Garrett Graham, who is the reason you challenged this film to me.
Yes,
and he is like I've always loved Garrett Graham, even though I didn't know his name when you mentioned it because I'm horrible with names. Yeah. And he's in two of my favorite films of all time: Used Cars.
Used Cars.
It's a red chariot that take my ass straight to hell, and he plays Beef in Phantom of the Paradise.
He does. That's right. Which is a film I don't particularly like.
Oh, and you got to get over that because the movie's a fucking genius. Best film ever. Brian
De Palma.
Hey, De Palma, back and forth he goes. I tell you, it's yeah.
You see a film like Scarface, and you're like, how the fuck did this guy do Snake Eyes? How did that happen?
Well, we had that whole De Palma discussion earlier, how Scarface was like almost him peaking in a way, that time period, and everything after that was just kind of like, yeah, I still have to keep doing stuff.
Yeah. Although I did just watch Wise Guys again, which I fucking love.
Yeah, you
would. With Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo. I fucking love that movie, and that's a De Palma film.
And then the grandfather, Burt Remsen, who I really don't know if he's ever really done it, like anything besides like secondary characters.
Right.
I mean, I didn't take a look at his background too much, but from what I saw when I was checking, going back over to stuff, a lot of TV actors in this film, a lot of second string actors. He's never really been anything too crazy. Nothing headline that I came about. Oh, I love them in that. No, it's just this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he died in 1999.
Yeah.
His last film was in 2001, so obviously that was he filmed that beforehand.
Oh. Yeah, and a lot of people, even the secondary characters, Cherry, in the film, who's played by Randy Brooks.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, I know her. I know her from something. I do a quick search. I'm right. She was the girl with the annoying voice from The Man with Two Brains that Steve Martin almost kills by injecting her with window cleaner.
That's her. You're right. Wasn't she also in...
Duke of oil. That's her. Only I thought she had bigger breasts. That's the only thing that threw me off. I was like, I don't think that can't be her. Oh, that was her. I just remembering bigger breasts.
Wasn't she also in some shitty Skinamax film where it's like a... Huh?
Odds are.
Oh yeah, where it's like it's like a jungle or like Tarzan type theme, and it's like got monkeys, like people in monkey suits, and there's a scene where they're dancing, and it focuses on her, and she just immediately gets naked as soon as the camera's on her.
I don't remember anything like that.
I have to. What was her name again? Randy? No, not Randy Brooks.
Randy
oh yeah,
Brooks.
it is Randy Brooks.
Yeah, Randy Brooks. She was there with Spiro. The manliest man.
Spiro, manliest. Yeah, she's still alive, so that shouldn't bum you out.
Well, Spiro threw me off because it was like, Spiro. I was like, oh, I got to check out what he's been in, because he's like Ricardo Montalban wants to be. The guy's just like oozes it.
Well, I love it when he gets in the pool. He's like, oh, what is this? Oh, maybe it's a sex lubricant. It's like, wow, Spiro, you're really Greek, aren't you? Holy shit!
No, Spiro had some of the best lines in the film, like when Putterman Stanley says, the kid just wants to be in war. He says, war, that is a manly pursuit. Raping and pillaging. Taking life and creating it like a god. I mean, really, the best scenes in the film are with the parents.
Yep.
And worst parents ever, we'll admit that. And Spiro and Sherry. And it's really... Now, we didn't even talk about the plot, but an alien beams through the television and starts eating people. There you go.
Pretty much. I mean, Putterman gets like this super duper satellite dish, and that's the one guy, alien dude from the planet Pluton, is throwing away garbage. Pluthar, and he sends it out, but of course, it's a direct beeline for Earth.
Oh, it ricocheted. It ricocheted off planets.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it ricocheted off some planets.
You got to pay attention to the scientific details.
Yeah. So it ends up on Earth, and this monster, who has an appetite like no other, he keeps apologizing throughout the film. He keeps getting his signal put through. He's like,
Avast virus database
fuck you,
has
Avast.
been updated.
Thank you for updating right now.
Turn off your televisions for the next 200 years. I've inadvertently sent a creature to destroy everything. I'm so sorry.
That's right. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience.
So, I mean, you meet the family. They have the whole family meeting thing and the whole thing with the television. And everything's kind of... There's nothing that's really dragging up to that point. The parents leave. Grandpa and Sherman have an encounter with the monster. Grandpa bites it. The parents come back with their swinger pals. And the only time where the film starts to lag is after...
I know what you're going to say.
Is after the parents and the swinger people are all dead, and it's just the three kids with the monster. All of a sudden, there's like 20 minutes of just the kids and the monster, and it just all of a sudden it's just the film.
Yeah. This is music. This is food. It's, this is this. This is what we do. This is how you do that. Let's teach them. Let's train them. Let's try and get them on TV. You're right. I'm watching that, and I didn't remember that so much. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of boring.
Well, you know what it is, too? And I'll put this in perspective. There's bad acting. Then there's campy acting. Everybody in the film they're not bad actors. They're purposely acting campy.
Yes.
Oh, Garrett Graham, Mary Warrenoff are kings and queens of bad acting, campy acting.
Of the camp, sure.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. Everything is over projected. That's what they do. And Spiro and Cherry, Alejandro Rey and Randy Brooks, they do the same thing. This is what they do. Randy Brooks was in the Hamburger the movie the year before this. They know how to play these characters over the top, and the dialogue's not exactly original or extra sharp or witty, but they sell it. And again, the best scenes are with them talking or them doing stuff. Whenever they're in there, they kind of exude this energy. Grandpa's not that bad either, and Sherman does what he can for his age. It's
Sure.
It's weird. It's hard. It's weird to say it, hear the words leaving my lips, but that acting is a little bit more too sophisticated for a child.
Right. Just taking care of business. Just taking care of business. Grandpa, what are you doing? I'm in here, honeybee. I'm just taking care of business. Grandpa's taking care of business.
Remember, kids, we do our thing, you do yours.
Yeah, baby.
Even the repairman guy has that. He knows how to sell.
Oh
it.
yeah, Norton.
Yeah, Norton and
Norton.
and the Medusa chick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't recognize her from anything. I think she's one of the least.
No, she was probably an Elvira wannabe.
Well, I mean, she pulls it off. She's got tits,
well, no, I'm just saying they focus on her boobs.
Well, so. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They're actually hiked up too high.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like where there's like a shelf where they're almost folding. So it's almost like they even said, no, bring them up so high that it's not even sexy because they're just like being forced up her throat. Like I said, I think the costuming was like the extra tight plaid pants on Thornton. I think everything was like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was saying it was like, again, like I said, I think there was a lot of attention, a lot of detailed attention paid to the costumes in reflection of the characters, which they was not. Yeah, but what were you
I just
say?
love. I know. I was just the Medusa, that character. I just love how she goes everywhere with the fucking costume. She didn't even bother to take it off. I'm going to some parties. Maybe I'll come to yours. And it's you're going to come as Medusa? It's just great.
Now,
well, no. What I was going to say is she was. You're right. She hasn't really been in anything, but she was in this 1986. I would say that she's probably in her mid to late 30s in this. Wouldn't you say? Like that's appropriately,
I guess,
her age.
Sure.
Well, she was in an episode of Superman, the TV series, and her credit was Young Woman in 1996. 10 years later, probably pushing 50. How the fuck did she get the credit of Young Woman?
Well, maybe she was a young woman.
No. Moving on. Just wanted to point that out there.
Okay.
Sorry. I've had a bad day.
I understand, and you usually try to judge women based on age and stuff like that. I understand, but
I always. That's the only way I'll even talk to you. If you're over 20, I'm not talking to you. Over 20, under 18, I'm not doing. But
she's a redhead, so that's something, right?
She is a redhead. She gets points for that.
I would hazard that the most interesting part of this film is not the monster or all the horror stuff, but just this wacky, weird family, not in like a sitcom sense, but it's like in a bizarre alternate reality sense, almost surreal sense. And I'm wondering if you took the monster out, how much better of a film this would be.
Or if you did leave it, just not so much of the monster.
Oh no! Well, hear me out. I'm thinking, just imagine, like everything with the monster. Yeah. Sherman and Grandpa think they saw a monster. They didn't see a monster. They're just, they're high on lizard tail jerky. Yeah, and pills. Grandpa's drunk. The kids on the pills. They think they see monsters, so they start stalking it. He starts crank calling Medusa, and just this. If you took out the monster aspect, there would still be a kind of a wacky, low budget comedy in this.
Yeah, I can see that. Sure. I'd watch that movie.
It's just like with Street Trash. If you took out the melting homeless people, there was still so much more going on in the film that you could actually make a good movie around it.
Right.
Without that. The monster is almost incidental in this film and actually slows the film down when we have to pay attention to it and give backstory for it. And that's the most, that's the part of the film where you're just like, Jesus, just get on Just get to the next melting part. And then if the monster wasn't there, maybe we wouldn't have to kill Mary Warrenoff off so early and give her more time on screen, because I think that's important.
Yeah, I think so too. So
and even though the dialogue wasn't, again, it's not Oscar worthy. There's some great lines in here. I like the brain shot.
Oh sure,
instead of headshot
from Grandpa. Yeah, brain shot.
Yeah. Just instead of headshot, brain shot, that little change, but it just for some reason I like it. Holy tomato, like you mentioned. What's that part? I have it written down here. That's a great idea for a movie. Martians diddling the women of the universe.
Good old Spiro.
Intergalactic swingers, hey.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, and the thing with the whole swingers aspect is they tell their kids, tonight's swingers night. They just come right out with it. Tonight's swingers night. You know that.
And again, that's what was so... The weird dynamic of the whole family just makes the monster irrelevant. It's like, the parents are bringing swingers home while the kids are there. We don't need a monster. Here's the thing that's gonna scar everybody for life.
They are monsters.
Yeah, they are. Everybody in the family's a monster. Grandpa and the kid are growing lizards and eating their towels, and they've got like an armory in the bomb shelter where they sleep.
Yeah.
And apparently the kid has his own room too, and we never see that because she says if you can't spend the night in your room alone, you're going to go sleep with Grandpa. So that's just Grandpa's room. That's not even their shared room.
Right. I mean, it's a soundstage, and you're right. There's only so many rooms that they probably built the film in.
No, they could actually sell this now as a sitcom and get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, whoever has the rights to this should just take the monster out and just approach ABC or whoever is cranking out fucking bullshit shows now.
In a lot of ways,
I got the swinger parents. We got the gung ho military right wing grandpa that lives in the basement with guns. We got the kid hopped up on ADD pills. We got the grunge punk daughter with the boyfriend. We got Larry the cable guy coming around. I mean, there's your Spiro and Sherry come by every episode and make lewd comments to the kid. Like when she sees the kid, is he joining us? Ah! There's your monster. There is your monster.
And you know what, too? In a lot of ways, the movie itself feels very sitcom-ish. So you're right; they could totally get away with making this a sitcom.
Spiro, I'm into Greek culture. I like little boys.
I think at one point, doesn't he tell her, he goes, "I'm really into Greek culture."
Yeah.
Stanley, he's a manly man.
Stanley, take it like a man.
Good old Stanley. And there was a bunch of scenes in the film where Stanley's making those weird faces, and I'm like, is this Patrick meets Terrorvision? I mean, he really looks like the dude from Patrick. I mean,
holy
had
those
shit.
Eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give it to you. When you said this was like a cult film, I think it's a cult film in the same way that you would call Dr. Caligari a cult film, not the Cabinet Dr. Caligari, but the 80s Dr. Caligari.
Right.
Which could have easily been your challenge this week, considering this film.
Yeah.
It is a cult film in that sense where it's really the 80s. They did release films where they really went out on a limb and did this kind of I mean, I don't want to say Andy Warhol, Mary Warrenoff, of course, but that taking that weird artistic pop artistic kind of Warhol, or I'm grasping for straws here for the definition, but I mean, it really goes out on a limb to try to give this like surreal reality to base the movie in. Right. And you don't see a lot of this these days. You don't see a lot of.
You think of John Waters too? I mean, you could definitely feel a little John Waters. That was the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah, John Waters, which I'll say this. I think John Waters is, and I can't think of the other director's name, so I should just shut the fuck up. But yeah, they would do films like this. Mammoth. I think John Waters is the poor man's Mammoth, and anybody can hold me to that. because both of them have that style where they put dialogue in people's mouths that doesn't work. I just rewatched Serial Mom over the weekend too.
Did you?
And God, that's a fucking excellent film. And again, the dialogue doesn't work. It's not real, but they're not making real films. They're surreal films, and this is one of those films. And no one really, except for the occasional Mamet, or John Waters, no one tries to make these films anymore. So you are correct in a cult film in that way, because they just don't make them like this.
Thank you very much.
I rescinded my disagreement with you. How's that?
Nice.
Now, I was hoping to have poetry. I was writing a poem based on the movie. But
we're going to have Terrorvision poetry.
I want to start writing poetry for the films based on the movies, and I actually have a bunch of verses written out, but I didn't get a chance to finish the poetry because life intervened. So I only have, I don't even have like a rough poem to read, so I'm not going to read anything. But I'm trying to, what we have movie reviews now, to have poems of the films in some way. I was trying to go for a pantoum or some kind of tri-set where I actually use dialogue lines from the film, because this one's got some great dialogue lines to put into a poem. You know, belly down soldier, the geeks aren't through with you yet. Does Stanley take it like a man? You know, intergalactic swingers. There's some great shit in there. But do something, you ugly bastard. Oh no, best one. You into metal, kid? Kiss the boot. What the fuck was that?
Now, the film was directed by Ted Nicolau. I think that's how you pronounce the name.
Who cares? Yeah.
Well, I just, what else has he done? He hasn't done anything else.
Well, he's done a lot of shit like this. It was all his stuff was back in the 90s up to current. Everything he does now is like direct to video. Because that's what he was doing. He was doing the films that you release in the theater for a day or went direct to video, and now it's just like, Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys back in 2004. He did all that shit. Subspecies. I'm looking at the list now.
He did a couple of subspecies sequels, or the film subspecies, and then oh shit, he did the whole series. Never mind. Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
It's actually one of his first films, so.
Yes, it is.
And he wrote and directed, so there you go.
That's right. He was the creative
now here's
mind.
Something. I forced Holly to watch this with me, and of course I got in trouble.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. And the one I told her about Mary Warrenoff, about my fascination with Warrenoff, and how she was one of Warhol's girls and all that. And she said, "Well, do you think she had anything to do with any of the art on the walls?" Like, no. I've seen her art. No, she did not have anything to do with that art. And ironically, I was looking. I've never really looked into Garrett Graham as an actor. I've just always enjoyed him on the screen. And looking back at some of his stuff, he's a songwriter. He's actually written some songs, including I think he co-wrote a song for the Grateful Dead, something like that.
Oh, really?
And I guarantee he had nothing to do with any of the music in this film either. So it's interesting having actual artists in the film, and I would almost guarantee that they didn't have anything to do with the art involved in here. But again, Warrenoff coming from Warhol, it's like she fits right into this weird pop decor retro. I don't know what other words you'd want to attach to it. It's like a little bit of everything.
Right.
And I think that's what the appeal to this film is. I think the weakest part of the film is Terrorvision itself. If it was just the Puttermans.
The Puttermans.
Yeah.
Good old Puttermans.
If it was what was the name of the road again? Putterman Lane or
Putterman Lane.
If it was just called Putterman Lane, this would, and Mo Monster was in it. I swear this would be a better film. It'd probably still be it would probably be more recognized as a cult film, like you said it was, than the argument I had that it wasn't.
If it was called Putterman Lane.
Yeah. And I also want to argue that I don't think they're like the worst people in the world. Like for example, when Mary Warrenoff chains her son in the basement, it's, first of all, she thinks he's with his grandfather. And You know what? If you're, as married adults with older children, it's their prerogative to explore their own adult entertainment, as you will. Bringing swingers to the house, that's, of questionable, maybe, but I the fact that they meet her metal boyfriend and immediately like, well, just have fun.
I mean, it's not like it's not a big enough house where even if they do that, they could probably be completely separate from everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I like when they first
We're defending
meet the
terrible parents and swingers at that.
I am. I like that whole scene that was, again, it puts that weird dynamic on it where when they first meet the boyfriend and it's like, and they go up him and it's like all the metal shit on him and it's like, this is the freak she's dating. And they have the look in their eyes at first and then immediately it's like, well, just, take care of my daughter, dude. Let's go pick up the swingers. That was it's like it was like a brief moment of horror, and then, well, that's who she's dating.
Yeah, she's old enough.
How is this not a sitcom on ABC right now?
Well, there is a show called The Neighbors, which are aliens. Their neighbors are aliens, and they're trying to fit in.
Who's really? They're doing that again? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's been picked up for a second season too.
Oh, it's already been on. This is why I don't pay attention to television.
It's already been on a season, yeah.
Someone got pissed at me last week online because I made some crack about, well, they said that something was complete shit on television. I said, well, you can say that almost everything on television. And they got all defensive. Well, you can't make a blanket statement about television. There's some really good shows out there. Says, don't, no. No, I'm talking broadcast television. Not
cable. There's a lot of good stuff on cable television.
A&E has a good show. That's fucking wonderful. I'm talking 359, whatever the hell the channels are now.
2 through 13. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, 2 through 13. Thank you. All the numbers on the old dials. If you can find it on an old tube picture with a dialed channel changer, that channel sucks.
Yeah, it probably blows.
If there's a triple digit to get to that channel, maybe you'll find something interesting. But yeah, all public television is fucking horrendous. I can't believe they're doing the alien thing next door again. I don't know why I'm surprised. But all they would have to do is they would have to put a gay character in here somewhere. I don't know. I mean, maybe Grandpa would come out or something. Something like that. Oh no, the television guy could be gay. No, but he was eyeing Mary. Somebody would have to be gay. Well, oh no, Spiro. Never mind. I just answered that question. No, nope.
I'm just letting you go.
Forget I said anything. The show's perfect for prime time. All they need is like some cast of character change because obviously Mary's a bit too old to play that role now, unfortunately. But they would have to replace the actors, but the characters are solid. And if they can even get the same set designers, then please do, because that show will last 10 seasons. They'll do a crossover with How I Married Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
Is that how it is? I who gives a fuck. How I avoided watching that show. That's all. I caught half an episode of that show, and it was about the one guy like trying to get
Jason Segel or Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, no,
actually, it's none of those two. It's the other friend that kind of is on the show.
Jason Segel was the one. He was trying to build up the. He was afraid to masturbate in the bathroom or something weird like that. I watched half of it. I was like, you know what? If you're not selling me with masturbation, you're definitely lost, because that's an easy in.
Sure.
Really, that's really. But if I'm finding that boring, you're just.
I've said that for years.
Yeah. It's like Woody Allen. It's like the we can have a kid. He said it's probably because you're chronic masturbation. Say, hey, don't knock my hobbies. But I mean, anything else about this movie that you like as much as I make a wonderful Ouzo margarita.
Well, first he says I make a wonderful margarita. Do you have any orzo? No. Well, I make a wonderful orzo margarita too, or Ouzo, whatever the fuck he called it.
Ouzo, yeah. Well, that's Greek wine. Ouzo.
Is it Greek wine? Okay, I didn't know that.
I have the scene where he's making the drinks.
I got it on right now. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of synced up with you.
Renaissance man. Definitely. He's got a really high IQ.
It's just fucking Putterman acting like a moron.
Leave it for a minute. The best line's coming up.
People of Earth, please heed my warning.
Take a minute.
A terrible accident has occurred. I am Pluthar, sanitation captain of the planet Pluton. A stray energy beam containing garbage from my substation may be headed for your solar system and could possibly result in the total annihilation of your species. I'm so terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
The sound off.
What?
The Medusa part's going to be like 5 minutes after this when he calls her.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But after that, I just had it when it was just up now. I was trying to see what he was actually making in those drinks because no one would drink it either. It was like, oh, what the hell's in this? Rocket fuel?
You ready for takeoff, Spiro?
It looked like he was just pouring like straight alcohol into the glasses and adding an umbrella.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell. It's JB.
Is it Jim Beam?
No, not Jim Beam. The other one. What do you call it?
I don't know anything that's JB.
He's just got two. There's no mixers. He's just got 2 bottles of alcohol and he's pouring them into the glass. That's it. There's no mixer or spritzer or anything, and they just like threw little umbrellas on top of them. It's like there's no mixing to it.
Obviously, it's intended to get you shit faced.
It's like tequila it's like tequila and whiskey, something weird like that. Damn, you know what? I wasn't enjoying this film last night, but just talking about it now, I'm enjoying it so much more. And again, like the bondage erotic lithographs on the back walls and shit. It's like this. I want to live in this house.
When was the last time you saw this movie, other than last night for review?
Oh, all the way through, probably when I was a kid. I mean, I've seen bits of it since then, but I've never sat down and said, "Oh, I'm going to watch this again." No.
I've seen this a bunch of times on Cinemax. The last time before for review, yeah, it was probably in the late 80s. That was the last time I actually saw it.
Forget the house. I want that remote control.
Oh, sure.
And dials and the little miniature...
Well, I love it when he gets his satellite dish and he's playing with it and he's going through and they're just totally consumed by TV. And that none of that has changed now. It is exactly as it was, except in 1986, that was kind of like the beginning. You know, you could get things like satellite dishes, like good ones anyway, where you can rotate it and get like all these weird fucking channels. You know.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like you said, like we've always said, first generation of kids growing up with cable.
Right.
You and I, you know, and. If they had gotten rid of the monster in the room is the television. That's what I think. Like, there's a metaphor in this film that became real and ruined it. if the monster had remained the television, it had not become an actual monster.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, Stanley, take it like a man.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess so.
I can rewind it a bit.
Hang on. So. Yeah, go ahead. Rewind it a second. I want the whole scene. That's worth it. Oh.
So tell me, Raquel, is Stanley a manly man?
Oh, God, yes. A real stallion.
No, what I mean is, does Stanley take it like a man?
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
I thought so.
And what about you, Spiro? Are you a real manly man?
Oh, yes, indeed. Spiro Xeros is the manliest of men.
Yes.
Spiro, do you think that maybe I could have a little sneak preview?
Raquel, has there been some misunderstanding?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm Greek, you know.
Oh, of course you're Greek. It said so in the classifieds. Oh, don't worry. We're not prejudiced.
No, you don't understand. I am into Greek culture. I like boys. Stanley is such a manly man.
Oh my God, Stanley's never gonna believe
this. And the other line that after they find the pool after they've been killed, like, what the hell did that homo do to my Jacuzz?
That's right. He calls it a Jacuzz. He doesn't call it jacuzzi. What did that homo do to my Jacuzz? Come on, Spiro.
And it seems like the film's repetitive, but it's really not. It's like he calls it the pleasure palace, pleasure zone, pleasure dome. They're so one-dimensional characters, but that's really what sells them. It's like because there are people that are just one dimensional like this. I'm sure there's other facets, but that's not what's driving them.
Right.
Jesus, the monster is the television. This movie should be remade, but it should just be called again Putterman Lane, Putterman Alley,
Putterman Lane.
Putterman Lane, and then the tagline should be "Warranty only covers repairs."
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
You know what? I mean, someone could write a whole, probably a thesis on this movie. About.
I think I will. Thank you. I think I will. I'll get on that tonight, sir.
I mean, you could talk about the destruction of society and the monster in the room, like you said, is the TV.
And you know what? I need to go back. I still have to go back and write that article on how the first 3 paranormal activities were about spousal abuse. So as soon as I get that done, I'm going to move on to this one. Thank you for reminding me that I'm a writer.
If you need me to remind you again at some point, just let me know.
Whenever you feel the need to, sir.
Okay.
But goddamn, I love this movie. So as long as we're not dealing with the goddamn kids teaching the alien shit, that's only where it falls flat. That's it. Hello?
Here. Check it out.
A little warm, don't you think? What is this? Algae? Maybe it's a sex lubricant.
Maybe it's a sex lubricant. Yeah, that'd be the first thing I'd think of. Just a giant pool of sex lubricant.
I think Spiro should actually challenge the most interesting man in the world.
Oh, God. I don't always have sex with monsters.
Alejandro Rey, though, he died like a couple of years after this film.
Yeah, he was only 57.
Actually, the year after this film. Yeah, he died right after this movie. And,
does it give cause of death? I don't think it does.
I didn't look.
Well, I don't think it has
when
it.
When he strips down to get in the pool, he looks as fit as I think you can look at age 57.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
I mean, shit. Maybe it was a bus. Let's hope it was a bus. I won't accept anything
if it was some sort of other illness and he looked good the year before. It's like, oh, come on, what the fuck?
That's insane.
It's like, seriously. What was his name? Alejandro Rey.
Alejandro. Best remembered as playing casino owner Carlos Ramirez on The Flying Nun.
Oh, God.
Which I didn't know. I didn't think this film would have us that passionate. I'm actually surprised. The film is, again, we said 5.3 stars. What are you thinking?
I'd go... See, I don't think I'd go 7 just because of that lag. With them, like 20 minutes or so of them, like training it and talking to it, telling food, music, all that. I can't go 7 because of that. I definitely go 6.
I would say 6. Again, for me, 5 is like no effort.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the minimal, really just borderline average.
5 for me, 5 is just boring, and then anything below 5 is incompetence. And this film is not incompetence. Everything in here is like done on purpose to an extent. Right. I was thinking 6 too. I agree totally.
Excellent. Let's do it.
So I rate that 6, and took a quick peek. And I still can't call it a technical cult film because, again, like I said, cult films have that arc where the majority of the ratings are either 10 or a 1. This one still peaks in the middle. Majority of votes are around 5, 6, and 7. Actually, 6 is the highest percentage of ratings among them, so we're in the norm with our rating.
It did get 271 tens. It's a lot of tens.
It is, but it's still not that horseshoe, No,
it does sit in the middle. It does sit mostly in the middle of 5, 6, and a little bit of 7. There's a lot of 7s in there.
Now, when it breaks down the demographics, the highest rating is for males under 18. 7.3 stars, but that's only 3 males under 18 reviewing it.
Yeah, just about everyone. It's on average is around 6.
Which means the majority of people that have seen this film are over the age of 18, which confuses me because this film was made for a 17-year-old. It
sure was. Yeah.
Really, I can enjoy it too, but this film really has sneak into the theater and see it all over it, or rent it at the library because they don't cover the R rating. And this had an R rating, which now
just for the violence. I mean, there wasn't even nudity.
Hold on, I know I just said that I would be positive that Mary Warnoff didn't have anything to do with like the art in this film, but the one wall I'm looking at, and I'll be damned, that's Mary Warnoff in the painting.
Oh, really?
I mean, it looks like her. It's in the archway. On one side of the archway is that picture of like the naked the full frontal naked woman with the hair, so it looks like a face where the boobs are the eyeballs. And then on the other side of the arch, there's a woman looking over her shoulder, like leaning on like a bar, and I'd swear that was a portrait of Mary Warnoff. So now I can't find any documentation that says anything about the art. Maybe this will be lost. Just like I can't find any proof that the scene of nude people that they tuned to on the television, like Channel 69, I'm convinced that's a clip from Flush Gordon, but I have no proof.
Well, we're just going to have to get a copy of Flush Gordon and just watch it.
I don't know if I want to take that step, but I see that scene and I think Flush Gordon, and I don't really have any basis for that. But damn, I'm looking at that as like, that's Mary Warnoff. I mean, or at least a close facsimile.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe I'm just projecting. Who knows? So that raises questions. Now I need to try to find. I'll go back through my Mary Warnoff library and see what else I can find in there.
All right. So the film's rated a 6. Both of us. We both concur about that.
Yeah.
All right. So should we go ahead and end the show?
Yeah, we'll end the show. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. I do have an idea. You know, we keep saying that we're going to have a recording of what, we're going to talk about. I have an idea. I'll mention it.
We should do that.
Yeah, we should do that soon, but I have an idea of how we should do it. And I think you'll like it.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 121 of Moviesucktastic. You can download all of our episodes on our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can watch the show live through live stream when it doesn't decide to commit suicide at the website as well. You can go to iTunes and you can download our shows there and you can leave us reviews. We always appreciate them. You can email us at themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. We have a Tumblr as well, which is Moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. Our Facebook is Moviesucktastic Pod. That's right. I keep forgetting that. You just made it so confusing, you bastard.
It's not my fault.
When we have a recording, which is gonna have to happen, it won't be an issue anymore. But I think that's everywhere you can get us, other than just doing a simple search for Moviesucktastic in your favorite web browser.
Just fucking use Google. Google's awesome. Google Moviesucktastic, and wherever it says to go, click and leave a review there.
That's right. We're everywhere, motherfuckers. You have any wisdom?
Yes.
Any parting words?
Just remember, the warranty only covers repairs.
There you go. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.